Hey, what's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Ken's Pats Talk Patriots podcast. I appreciate y'all waking up this morning. It's 49 a.m. Came on a little late this morning. Our special guest I'm about to get into, man, he's an NFL free agent wide receiver. Had a few technical difficulties, but that's okay. That's okay. We try to work with everybody, man. You know, everybody's a lot of stuff be going on and whatnot. So, I mean, hey, we just got to be with them. If you committed to doing something, you're going to work it out with your guy and whatnot. So I'm about to let him in here soon. Before I get started, you know what I always say, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, share the content, and make sure you comment and enjoy the stream, man. I really appreciate it. We're not going to talk about the Patriots on this episode. This could be a special Saturday morning episode, special guest episode. We're going to talk about NFL free agent wide receiver Gabriel Alexander. Let me go ahead and get him in here. What's going on with you, bro?
Not much. How are you? Thanks for having me on. I know
Doing
it's a little
good.
bit late.
Yeah, we're supposed to go at 11, but we had some technical difficulty. But hey, that's okay. That's okay. We got to focus on it right now. We can't focus on that.
Yeah. We we're on, so that's the important thing.
Yes,
but
sir.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Now, and I appreciate you being committed and put me into your schedule to come on to. So likewise, it's mutual on both ends.
Absolutely. I know some things don't always work out smoothly. I mean, look at my story. So that's a great segue. But I appreciate you having me on. I didn't know you were such a Pats fan, though.
Yeah, I'm a Patriots fan, but like I said,
I'm
a Patriots fan, diehard, man. Love my boys. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do this year. But I try to with the draft coming, we got free agents just down there now. I'm trying to get some players on and some other people on. We talk about the draft and their future and their pathway and stuff like that. So I'm trying to transition into that aspect of the channel now. Or whatnot, trying to get some free agents on, man. Hey, who knows? You might even get you a workout with the Patriots after this.
I mean, maybe. So real quick, because I know you're a Patriots fan, and the rumors are going around right now about Stephon Diggs maybe with New England. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, he left. He visited with us early in the week, a couple days ago, but he left without a visit. So anytime somebody come in, they don't, you supposed to lock the doors, don't let them leave or whatnot. So I'm hearing some good stuff though. He just followed Drake May on Instagram. On Instagram, real quick, you're a wide receiver. How you feel about Drake May? How do you like Drake?
I like Drake. I think he's really, really smart. I think he can see the offense really well. I think sometimes he might hold the ball a little bit too long, but overall, I think he's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential, especially for the Patriots. In a rebuild right now, without moving on from Brady, moving on from Mac, I think he's a really, really smart option, and I think he's got a lot of upside.
Yes, sir.
I spoke with Antonio Gibson not too long ago. He also really likes Drake May as well.
Okay.
He's got a lot of buy-in from his offensive and defensive players on both sides of the ball. So I think he is at the moment a really good bet for the future right now for the franchise. Right this
and with you being a wide receiver, I appreciate you saying that because y'all real picky over y'all quarterbacks and what y'all like and whatnot. So
for sure. I mean, I've worked with everyone from Josh Allen to Peyton Manning. Who else do we work with? Gino and Paxton Lynch, Drew Lock. So I've worked with a wide variety of ran routes for a wide variety of quarterbacks. Haven't ran with Drake yet, but he's right up there with them as far as being able to see the field, processing. He has command of the offense really well too. He can take his team in the 2 minute as well, which
Yeah.
is huge for a quarterback. Being able to process the defense and be able to take your team through the 2 minute is a big indicator in how your quarterback's going to do. And the best ones can operate in the 2 minute, and I think he really
Hmm.
can. So he's a I think he's a really, really good addition to the team, and a lot of players seem to really buy into him. They
Yeah.
like him genuinely as a person and as a teammate, so it bodes well.
I appreciate it, man. Man, let's go ahead and get into your story because
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
we're here this morning. Everybody want to hear
yeah.
your story. Gabriel Alexander, you're a free agent wide receiver. You're not in this upcoming draft. I think you said
Nope.
you turned 20, you're 28 years old. Tell
Yep.
everybody that's looking and tell us about your story. What brought you today? I mean, where you coming from and things like that, and just your pathway to the NFL, well, to get to the NFL. Tell us about your
The
story.
pathway's pretty wild. I don't honestly. It's kind of hard to know exactly where to start because it's a long story. It's been a road. It's taken me alongside players like Odell and Sheehy Giuseppe. I don't know if he was the Browns player that got into Browns training camp, number 15. He returned that punt, and he
Was it in the
had
preseason game or it was an NFL? It was a regular season game.
this was preseason. This was
Okay, I
preseason.
think I might. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And so he returned the punt. Him and Odell had become really, really good friends. Anyways, the whole point is it's taken me alongside Emmanuel Sanders and Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler and the best of the best. And so, but the story it's a long one. My first opportunity was the Kansas City Chiefs minicamp invite, and a few weeks before that, I tore my ACL in the right leg.
Oh,
So that got kicked out, and so since then it's just been workouts. So it's been I believe I sent you the Jaguars and Ravens workout clips.
mm-hmm.
Those are in the past year, 2 years here. Just getting in with so they were just route running sessions, and so the path kind of leads in front of, and when it started opening up, the reason I bring up Giuseppe is he kind of opened up the door for me in
Okay.
Arizona for Odell's workout. Odell had his workout in front of 16 or 17 different teams, and the receiver coach for the Baltimore Ravens at the time, he was there. And so I shook hands and we talked about getting a workout set up. And so Odell's receiver coach at the time, and still his receiver coach, which is my receiver coach as well, his name is TA or Goldfeet. And so when he would go up and work with Odell up in Baltimore, I would go up and meet him, and we would go through a
Okay.
route. We would do route session, and so then we put that video together and got it in front of the right people within Baltimore and Jacksonville, and so that's where I am right this second, and so we're just waiting for an opportunity at the time. So
Do you mind mentioning, like, I know you worked out with the Jaguars and the Ravens. Have you
yep.
had any other workouts recently? Whatnot? How's the interest level in you right now?
So right now it's free agency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's about building momentum and building relevance. And so one of the
Mm-hmm.
important things to do for me to build that is to get down and work with the starting quarterbacks and have them see that I can move, see that I can run routes with everyone else that's out there running routes. Um, and so right now I'm speaking with Keith Williams.
I know, Keith.
He was the receiver coach. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yep, he was the guy who put me through the workout up in Baltimore.
Okay.
Um, and so he and TA and all my receiver coaches, TA and Brandon White, who also happen to be Odell's and Zay Flowers and Stephon
Jahan
Diggs,
Dotson.
everyone else. Jahan Dotson. Yep, I met Jahan and trained with him in South Florida. But he they're like really close, and so those are the reasons why I got in front of Keith. And so Keith is in New Orleans right now,
Okay.
and he said that we can go through a workout Now that he's seen me, we can go through a workout and we're just working on setting up times right this second. But when I spoke with the Ravens, this is how much power Keith has. When I spoke with the Ravens, Vincent said, if Keith says that you can play, then you can play. And so that's the type of power that Keith
What did
has.
Keith
That's
say
the
to you?
pull that Keith has. Keith says I can play. He likes the routes. He likes the speed within the routes. And so now it's just about, they're going through free agency right this second. So you're looking at guys who are on your roster, guys in your practice squad, and you're looking at guys around the league right this second. So you've got to go through the process of waiting for them to get
things to get sorted out, basically see what they got, what they don't got. Do we need to bring in somebody else?
Yep. Because the reality of football is, what have you done for me recently? And were you on a team last year? I was not on a team last year. So, okay, then why should we?
Have you been on the practice squad yet?
No, I've just gotten workouts from, and that's my position right now of where I am. That's the reality of the position of where I am. And so the key for me is show that I can do it with the right people. So getting in, working with Geno Smith, getting in, working with Kyler Murray, getting in, working with guys who say, no, this kid can run routes. If he can't be the starting receiver, he can be in on special teams and be in on practice squad and develop in the way, And
I was about to ask you, you're open to anything? You're open to that as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with the UFL, you know what I mean, is putting the hat in the ring for the UFL. And so one of my really, really good friends, Paxton Lynch, he was with the UFL, I believe, year before. And so he also vouched for me for his UFL team. But he didn't have the pull that he needed to bring his guys in. He got in, probably started maybe 5 games, and then injury came in and stuff like that, But so that, I mean, that's right now, that's the story.
Because the UFL is about to start up in a few, like next week, I think.
Yeah, and in fact, Sheehy Giuseppe is with the UFL right now. And so his story, he's been going for 5 years or so to get an opportunity. And he's got quite the story. I mean, from maybe like a year in JUCO to with the NFL, of hopping in, so, but that's right now, that's where we are at the second. And so I'm headed down to South Florida to Bomberitos, and that's where Drew Rosenhaus sends all of his people. And I recently got my last training session with TA was what's his name, KJ Osborne.
He played for the Patriots last year.
Yeah,
he's with Washington now.
I'll be training with. Yeah, yep. So I'll be training with him quite a bit. He's going to be down there, and then same with Tajwan Palmer. He's with the Cardinals right this second, and Geno Smith and Tyrod Taylor, and Jordan Battle, and a bunch of other guys are coming through. It's really the place to be. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is right down the road at.
He just got signed by the Cardinals. Yep.
Yep. And
Brissett's a really good. He's a really good guy.
He's really good guy. I mean, a lot of these guys are intelligent and really down to earth, and it's about getting in front of them and showing that you can do it as well. And so for the past few weeks, I've also been training at CU, so I got invited to come run routes down there.
Good,
at CU.
Man, good.
And the buzz around CU right this second is different level.
Yeah.
They got Marshall Faulk down there.
How you feel about Shedeur? You think he's gonna be a top 5 pick?
I think he's gonna be a top 5 pick. I
think Giants gonna get him.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you think about Daniel Jones?
Well, he's in the coach. He's with Indianapolis now, so he got a good chance to win that job. I think it's a good fit for him.
Do you think he's gonna beat Anthony Richardson?
He will.
He will.
I will. Because sometimes I like to tell people, and you might know this as a wide receiver, you might be on a team right now and you're struggling, like Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos. He was with the Broncos. They had Russell Wilson, Drew Lock. They had the quarterback carousel, new coaching staff, all that. He went to the Browns under Stefanski. They put Jameis Winston at quarterback. Look how Jerry Judy
Yep.
been playing lately. He was in the Pro Bowl.
He went he
So
went off.
sometimes it's
But I
not
mean,
about. It's like
Denver,
it's about the team. It ain't like the player. It's about the team. How they use you. It's about the situation. A lot of times, it's not the player. It's just a
absolutely.
situation.
Absolutely. I don't think, and you can talk about Saquon as well with that whole
Yep.
thing too, because people are like, oh, how can the Giants have let him go? How can they have let him go? He went off. He won Super Bowl, 2,000 plus yards. You can't do that with the
Mm-hmm.
Giants right now. I mean, it's not a setup for him. One of my really good friends, Juwan Winfrey, he was with Denver for a
I
little
remember
bit,
that now. I see. Yeah.
and yeah, and then he went to Green Bay and he kind of went off. He kind of started getting into his own, and then now he's with the Colts, and you can see like sometimes you just need a fresh
Yep.
start. You know, sometimes you just need a new place, a new
Right.
system to kind of get you going. And so, uh, Saquon and D Hop and Odell and all those guys trained down in Phoenix, and that's where I met all of them and trained with a
I was
lot of
just about
them
to ask you
down
about
in
them. Like,
Phoenix.
how is it working with Emmanuel? Man, hey, first off, before I get into it, Emmanuel Sanders, put some respect on Emmanuel Sanders' name. He does not get the respect. He's very under appreciated wide receiver. He's
He's
very underrated. He's a good guy, good person off the field. I heard about him, but man, his footwork is insane. I think he was a number one wide receiver while he was in Pittsburgh when he went to Denver. Man,
Yep.
they don't talk about him enough. He retired a couple of years ago and it just kind of went away, kind of up under the rug, like kind of just went away swiftly, whatnot. But I feel like he was very a lot of people don't talk about Emmanuel Sanders. He was really like that.
he was really like that. And so uh, during the pandemic, um, I got to train with T.J. Ward and Derek
Okay.
Wolf, and
All
so
them played
all
with
the
the
facilities
Broncos.
were
Yeah,
locked
all them
out.
played with Denver.
Yeah, and so this is, if I want to talk like touch more on my story, Emmanuel Sanders has been a big part of my story. And in fact, let me grab this
You
real quick.
good.
Okay, so let me a little bit of dust in here. So, okay, so
Okay.
Emmanuel Sanders, myself, and then Jerry Judy. It's funny. So Jerry Judy in this picture, I mean, it looks kind of dope, like the way he's
Yeah.
standing like that in the picture. But that was actually his first day in Denver. That was when he was he was running with Emmanuel and I because he was trying to get the number 10. That was the day that
How
the
is
number
Jerry
10
Judy? He
came
cool?
back.
How's Judy?
Oh, he's dope, right? He's one of the favorite people I've ever trained
Okay.
alongside. He's also just incredibly explosive route
Woo.
runner. Like it's different. It's almost like he doesn't have ankle bones.
Man, I've seen a
Like the
lot of
way
his
he can like
workout videos in the off season. Now he's going up against air and not, without no pads or whatnot, but the way he move, oh
yeah.
my god!
But to be honest with you, it kind of is like that. In the NFL, there's a few different kind of DBs. There's DBs like Darnay
Mm-hmm.
Holmes. I went
With the
against
Giants,
him
I
in the
think.
off
Is he with the
season
Giants?
last
Yeah.
year. He's with the Raiders right
Okay,
now.
I thought he was with the
He
Giants. Okay.
will Yeah, so he was with the
Okay.
Giants and then he just signed a 1 year um with the Raiders. He's coming back to the Raiders. But anyways, he'll beat you with hips. He can open up so he can let a receiver run with him hip to hip. And then even if you cut and plant and stop, he can still cut and plant and stop with
Okay.
you. It's kind of wild because he's in a back pedal the
Right.
entire time. And then he opens up with you and then shuts down with you. And it's just like incredibly athletic ability. But with like Jerry Judy, even with like running routes on air and stuff like that, it's it's very similar to when you actually get in and play. Now, some DBs will be more physical, but a lot of them will just beat you with they'll just they know based on where you line up on the field, your stance, and like down and distance, they'll narrow it down to like 3 or 4 routes that you're going to run, and then they can figure out how you come off the line exactly what you're going to do, and then they'll run with you on that. It's so when Jerry does those like t-shirt shorts, routes video, it's actually pretty similar because that's a lot of times they'll just put on a helmet throughout the off season and they'll just run with the helmet and stuff. But it's still very, I would say it's like 80% similar to when you actually
Have
hop on the
pads
field
on.
because
Yeah.
they're still training with other yeah they'll still train with other NFL DBs that are
Yeah.
out there, and so it's you remember that route video with when Antonio Brown was going up against Joe
In
Hayden
training
in
camp, I
training camp.
think.
Yep. It's
Woo.
it's like the exact same thing. So when you go into South Florida or you go to even parts of Colorado, you'll have like the DBs and the wide receivers still doing competition like all year. But yeah, he's incredible route runner. Um, so he's exactly where he needs to be with Cleveland,
And you worked out with
But
OBJ,
also
Odell Beckham as well.
yes, yes. So I met him at Exos. So Jerry Judy and Emmanuel Sanders, I met outside of Exos. I met in Denver during the pandemic, and so all the facilities are locked out. And Jawan Winfrey, he introduces me to Emmanuel
Okay.
Sanders, and Jawan Thompson too. So he played. Let me grab this
He
too.
plays with Jawan
Um,
Thompson. No, that's Jawan Johnson that played with the Saints.
Yeah, so Jawan Thompson, he's really, really good friends with Brandon Marshall,
Okay.
the
I
former
met him at the
linebacker
Super
with
Bowl.
Denver
Yeah, okay.
Broncos. Yeah, so Jawan Thompson played at Duke,
Okay.
and then he was a fullback, came in. He's for 230 pounds. I've never seen someone run like so
Right.
explosive in my entire life. But he he trained me during the whole. So this is Jawan right
Okay.
here. So he played at Duke, and he introduced me to Emmanuel Sanders, and same with Juwan Winfrey and T.J. Ward and everyone. But anyways, so Emmanuel Sanders taught me how to run routes, taught me
That's
releases.
not a bad person to learn
Um,
from.
no, no, him and like Rod Smith, they taught me so much about the game of football, and same with Paxton Lynch. I mean, I've got so many people um, who have kind of taught me what it's like to play football at the highest level without ever having signed a contract
That's
yet,
crazy.
you know. Because it's Rod Smith and Peyton Manning and all the McCaffreys, Dylan, Luke,
Okay.
Christian, Max, um, and anyway. So if I want to talk about Odell, the first time I ever met Odell was at Exos in Phoenix, and uh, he is kind of bigger than life
Okay.
in a way. So when you get into, if I have to describe the, if I had to describe the atmosphere of Exos, it's walking in and knowing that, like right when you walk in, it's like there's an energy. Like all the best professional athletes come through to do strength and conditioning training
Okay.
at Exos. So it's DK Metcalf, it's
He's
Saquon
huge, ain't he?
Barkley, it's
DK Mac.
oh DK is massive, massive person. And I was there at Exos when he was getting ready for the 100. Do you remember when he was running the
At the
100
combine?
just to run at the in California? It was like 2, 3 years ago or something.
Okay.
Uh, when he went to just do the qualifying run in California for just whatever reason, he finished ninth, but he's like 240 pounds and like 6'5" or six
Pure
foot four.
muscle
Just a
too.
huge person. Yeah, yes, he's huge. But you pull up to Exos, and the minute you get there, it's there's massive trucks. Like I trained with Chandler Jones for the longest time and got to know him really well. And you pull up there, and you would know he's there because his vehicle is
Okay.
there. You would know Justin Britt is
Okay.
there because his massive lifted truck is there, and the skill guys are there. But anyways, Odell is pulling up, and I think he's got like an orange Rolls Royce, and it's just he pulls it up right next to the building, and you got Lambos and Ferraris. Like everything is there. And you pull up and you walk in the door, and there's this massive picture. At first, it was RG3 that said every day is game day, and then they moved it on to like Odell Beckham's face, and when he was making that catch, just a big blow up picture of that. And you walk in, you walk down the hall, and there's the kitchen, and you walk into this gym, and it's open, and the music's going, and you've got the best of the best players from everywhere, just and the best track runners and the best basketball
Crazy.
players, like everyone's there. And so, anyways, the reason I bring that up is because when Odell Beckham came walking into the room, it's like everyone still looked. Like everyone was like, "Oh, Odell's here." Like you knew Odell was
Right.
there. And so to make a splash in a pool that's already full of waves and people are still looking, like
Aura.
it's yeah, there's something there. I mean, Buda Baker was there. It was funny. It was Buda Baker and DK after DK chased down Buda
Oh yeah,
on
at the Cardinals
that
Seahawks
game.
game. It
Yep.
was Sunday Night Football. I think it was Sunday Night
Uh-huh.
Football. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So they were both there. But it was, and then you had Saquon and you had Chandler Jones and you had Bud Dupree and you had DK Metcalf and stuff. And so it was the best of the best. But Odell and I would have, so we would have poolside chats because they outside they would have the recovery center with the hot tub, the cold tub, and the regular
Okay.
pool. And so after you were done with your workout, you would go and like sip protein shakes near the pool. You'll just hang out there. And so that's when Odell and I got to talking for the first like week and a half, 3 weeks that I was there, and just super, very down to earth, very intelligent. Uh, he's very
Hmm.
aware of everything kind of going on around him, um, not just kind of in his own little bubble, but very aware of like everything. Yeah, just
Yeah.
everything. I guess I could say, So um, I think he's a pretty incredible individual
Right.
myself. Uh, and he also had, a few things to teach me too. He moves when it comes to route running and receiver work. It's almost like just pouring water. He moves like
Right.
water,
Wow. Okay.
very fluid. Yeah, a lot of receivers, have their different ways of moving. He's one of the most fluid receivers I've ever seen.
Yeah, Odell, man, he just remember him from the catch. A lot of people think he got credit just off the catch. He had a pretty okay, I'd say a pretty decent career. He had some injuries in the back half of his
Yeah.
career, but I think for the most part, I mean, Odell Beckham, man, you don't get no better than that, man.
No, he also he spoke a little bit on the catch, and he was like, "I'm glad that the catch happened, but the catch kind of took over my
Yeah.
life in a way of like that's all I became.
Hmm.
It's like all people ever thought about me was the catch. Like I want to be more than just the catch. Like the catch changed
You
my
don't want
life,
the catch to
but then it
be
kind of
what you're known for or whatnot.
the only
Right.
thing, the only thing." And so he kind of spoke on that, and that was really really interesting to hear from, because from the outside looking in, it's like for me, having not made a team yet, it's just like we're talking about something that you're going to be remembered for
Right.
always. You know what I mean? You're talking to someone who's been full, and I haven't even started eating yet. So you're like, what are you complaining about? But at the same time, when you stop to think about it, it's actually really, really, it's a good point. If you want to do more, that's not the only thing you want to be remembered
Right.
for. And so I get where he's coming from, and but he's played a very integral role in my path itself as well. And so his workout was one of the accelerators, kind of one of the points that opened up the door for me a little bit was, and that's how I met
Yeah, I
Keith
remember you told me that.
and
Hmm.
TA was the workout. And so I was actually going to head home. Because it's in Arizona. I'm in Colorado, so I was going to drive home. It takes me about 8 hours to get home. And so I was going to head out, and Giuseppe called me Thursday
Right.
night, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go run with Odell, because he's still trying to get looks." And I was like, "Yeah, you should go for it. I hope it works out really well for you." I had no idea where the workout was gonna be, um, and I had no interest in going because I was like, "This is your moment. I'm gonna let you go do your thing." And so I, ended the call. I booked a hotel, getting ready to head out of town that next morning, and my friend calls and is like, "Hey, the Ravens, the Jets, Keith is gonna be there. You should try and get in." But it's not an event that you can just walk
Right.
in. When it comes to a private NFL workout outside of a facility, they don't just like let people walk in. You can't just. It's not a publicly advertised event, so they're not just like, "Hey, yeah, yeah, come watch Odell work out for these 15 NFL teams." Uh, and so my friend does some sort of like sleuth work. I'm not 100% sure how he does it, but he figures out where, based on like his training videos, where he's going to do the workout most likely.
Okay.
He's like, he's probably going to run at ASU, probably on the practice fields there. You should go and wait there and just see if you can. And I was like, okay, I mean, let's just, so I call up Giuseppe, and Giuseppe's like, "Hey, I'm at ASU, and I ran right into him. You should come over to this parking lot. This is probably where they're going to be. This is going to be where they're going to be." And he had spoken to Odell, and so he's waiting for Odell to be there. He kind of like has his invite in, but I don't have any invite. No one even knows I'm going to be there. And so fast forward 2 hours, all the guys start arriving. All the scouts start
Okay.
arriving. You got the Jaguars and the Ravens and the Jets. You start seeing guys with like the NFL like gear getting in there and stuff. And then you see Odell pull up, and he gets there maybe like 15, 20 minutes later after the scouts get in. And then you've got private security roll up, and it's all fenced in, so you can't see like what anything in there. And so it turns out that one of the quarterbacks that I'd been working with at Exos was going to be throwing for him. And then TA rolls up as well. And I hadn't known TA at that point. And so Giuseppe goes running up, talks to this group of people, and he gets brought in. So Giuseppe's gone. He's in now. And so then I call Giuseppe. I'm like, should I try and get in? He's like, yeah, yeah. Just try and get in, see what you can do. And so I walk up, and I don't know anybody in there besides the quarterback that's rolling. And you can get embarrassed real quick if you walk up to a facility and you're not supposed to be there,
Mm.
because they'll actually just use security to just walk you out,
Wow.
and everyone's watching you. And so, you don't want to get embarrassed in front of all the scouts. And so you kind of want to belong. So I walk up to the security guard. His name's Adam. I still remember him. He played Division II football in Michigan. And because I spoke with him pretty extensively after. And so I walk up to him, and he's like, "Who are you here
Mm.
for?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm here for Keith." At this point, Keith has never set eyes on me ever. And so I am just hoping, like I hold my breath. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to go get Keith." So he walks in, he goes in, someone comes back, and it's Prince Amukamara
From
from
the
the
Giants,
Giants.
yeah, the cornerback.
From the Giants. Yeah, he's still there. And so he comes over to the gate, and he like ushers me in. And so now I'm like holding my breath, because it's like, yes, you just got in the door, but now it's like you're gonna go walk to Keith, and if Keith is like, "No, no, get him out of here," then you're walking back out in front of everyone, and everyone's there because Odell's all of his agents are there, his entire agency's there, his family's
It's a
there,
private
TA's
workout.
there. You got like 16 scouts from different NFL
Right.
teams are all there. They're all there to watch him. They all flew in to watch him run routes, and so um, Prince is like, "Yeah, I remember you from Exos," and that was kind of like it was a full circle moment at that point, because Exos kind of played an integral role in getting me into that, kind of added some credibility of like, no, he's not just a random guy off the street. Um, he can at least walk in the door. And so, anyways, I get up to Keith, and Keith is like, I reach out, shake hands with him, and I'm just like, "Hey, I'm here to speak with you." And Keith is like, "Oh yeah, yeah, he can stay." He gives him like this like nod. He gives him Prince this nod, and then Prince is just like, "Okay, he's good." And that was like the biggest sigh of relief. And Keith and I speak throughout the workout, and he's like, "Well, I'm here for Odell right now. We can speak
Right.
afterwards." So that's the moment that Keith and I met and
Through
shook
Odell,
hands
basically.
through Odell. And Odell and Winfrey and Emmanuel Sanders and Jerry Judy, they all it all like linked in a full circle moment
Do you like
at that time.
with Odell? Odell was mainly like he could play the slot, he could play the Z, play the X. When mainly when he was drafted, is mainly like a Z wide receiver. You got your number one wide
Yep.
receiver, your number two wide receiver, you got your number three. Do you think? And
Yep.
this right here is basically a two-part question before we end the show. Do you think you could be a number one wide receiver on a team? That's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is, what is your best fit on the offense in the slot, outside, Z? Do you think what is your best fit on So the first question is, do you think you could be a number one wide receiver? And you can also include in that, like, who's your wide receiver comp that's playing right now? Who's somebody that you think you
Yeah.
compare to? So basically, three parts of the question: can you be a number one? Who's your NFL comp? Who you comp your game after of? And what is your best fit on the offense before we end the show?
Okay, so I'm going to answer the comp question real
Okay.
quick. And the reason I'm going to answer that is because whenever I've gotten in front of people and trained and worked and
Okay.
everything, it's always Julian Edelman, Wes Welker. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's the Wes Welker, it's the Julian Edelman comparison every single time.
Adam Thielen, something like
Adam
that.
Thielen, but like that. So I thought the exact same thing. I thought Adam Thielen was, if I like dove more into it, I'm thinking Adam Thielen because his intelligence in the route running is, I haven't seen someone who can still get open with the
And
intelligent
still
route running.
playing too.
He's still playing on the Panthers, which is wild. Like, you're getting open on the Panthers. You don't even have anyone else. What do you like? How are you getting open on the Panthers? But I recorded a 1.3310, a laser timed 1.3310, and my 40 is right in at a 4.49.
That's your 44.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's that's the most recent. The 10 was like 3 weeks ago. We laser recorded a 10, and we got in at a 1.33 with a 1.36 is like my slowest at that during that day. And so, but the reason I bring that up is also with KJ Osborne. What was interesting when training with him is he made this comment is he was like, I don't think of myself as a fast twitch guy. Traditionally, I didn't think of myself as a fast twitch guy. I had to train myself into that. And so I'm the same. I feel like I'm the same way. I don't, because when I think of twitchy, I think KJ Hamler, I think Amari Cooper, I think
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks.
Stephon
Really,
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, super twitchy. When you watch my route running, you've seen the highlights and stuff like that. You've seen them. I don't think of myself as twitchy. I think of myself as a technician with route running.
Okay.
And so,
What's your height?
my height is exactly right at 6 foot. So
Okay.
I did my pro day. It's a funny story, real quick. I did my pro day with Denver here, and they go through the whole thing. They take you through height, weight. They measure your hand size. And so when they were going to measure my hands, I was over here just like balling up my hands because like, please don't measure the hands. Like, just measure, like, just let's stick with height and weight. Let's not measure hand size or anything, because my hands. But it turns out my hands are about average height. They confirmed right at 6 foot, so it's cool. But the reason I bring up KJ Osborne is because I relate to that. So I don't think of myself as normally like a really twitchy guy. After seeing twitchy guys, I think of the KJ Hamlers as the twitchy guy. I think of Brandon Cooks as a twitchy guy. And so if I had to loop it back around, I feel like my comparison would be the Adam Thielen, And yes, if I have to go stereotypical, I have to go with the Julian Edelman, because I have had a lot of people say you move like him, uh, and same like similar build, similar size, things like that. I don't know if you've seen. Do you know River Craycraft by chance?
River played. Did he play for? Was it the Broncos or was it?
Yeah, so he was a return guy for Denver, and then he spent the past 2 seasons in Miami,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
now he's with Seattle. He just got signed for
Okay,
1 year with Seattle, and so I kind of think of myself as like him as well. So I think of myself as a really good supporting receiver who, like, you remember the Patriots when they were in their prime, where you had Gronkowski going over the top or taking a linebacker, and then you had Edelman just going underneath,
Amendola and
and you had
Elderman and
Amendola.
Hogan and yeah,
Yep. And so that's, if I had to bring myself to where I see myself as a receiver and a fit, I see myself as a really decent, solid number two who can run
okay,
underneath. So, because a number one is something really special. I mean, I've worked with Sterling Shepard before. I've worked with Christian Kirk before, because they'll train at Exos a lot. And Sterling Shepard was a fantastic number two, like right besides um, Odell. I thought he was phenomenal with those
especially in
two.
that slot. He was pretty good in that slot.
He did this whip route this one time that was this like jerk whip route that was just, I could not believe that I was just like watching that kind of thing. So I think of myself as a great number two, because I can take advantages of the spaces that are open. I know how to find the spaces that are open. And so, but creating spaces that are open is what number one does, is
Yeah,
being able to create those spaces for the number two. So that's why I see myself as a number two, because I can take advantages. I can take advantage of the spaces that have become open. And so a good fit. I mean, I've always been a Packers fan, but the thing is, they love their young roster. They've got a
yeah. Hey,
phenomenal
draft and develop. That's what they do.
hundred
They don't
percent.
go out and make big trades and big signings. They draft and
Yep,
develop their own.
they just grabbed McCole Hardman,
Yeah,
um,
for return
and
specialists.
so yeah, which I think I think that's fantastic. But if I'm talking about fits for my own self, I like Seattle a lot for myself.
They need
I
wide
know Cooper
receiver
Cup.
help.
Yeah, well, they just grabbed Cooper Cup,
They need more
and
help.
so uh, funny thing is, so I got invited to the Hub event. It's Don Yee's Hub event, and I don't know
Okay,
if I sent you some of that film, but
you might yeah, you might have to send me that.
yeah. So, but so there were like probably 10 different teams there, like Denver, Chargers, Rams. A lot of West Coast teams, but New England was there as well,
Okay,
and the Raiders were there, and what's his name was Jordan. He was a uh, he was a New England Patriots scout for the longest time, and then he jumped over to the Raiders maybe
okay.
about 2 years ago. And so this is just before they grabbed Devonte Adams, and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, we can. I'm going to see what I can do about getting you in the building." And then they traded for Devonte Adams, and then it was like, we don't need receiver help anymore. We're good. We got him. You know who Devonte Adams' coach is actually Keith Williams.
Man, Adams is a freak. You talking about footwork twitches? Adams is an animal.
The ability to go from slow to fast is not something that 99% of receivers can do at the line. At the line, a lot of receivers can go slow to fast. A lot of them. They have this ability to change tempo. You see Stephon Diggs do it all the time.
My
You
favorites.
see,
Diggs is my Diggs. I like Adams. My favorite wide receivers right now. Now I was a big Dez Bryant fan. That's my I got my picture of him
I
right
like
here. That's
Des
Dez.
Bryant.
Yeah, Dez,
Yeah.
that's my guy. I met him
Yep.
man on text and whatnot. Dez throw up the eggs, that's my guy. Stephon Diggs, I like AJ Brown. I love me some CD Lamb.
AJ
But right,
Brown.
yeah, but right now I gotta say Diggs. Before we get on, I gotta say Diggs is really my guy though. Not because he might be a page. I like him when he was in Minnesota or whatnot because he was playing
Oh,
number two
yep.
behind Thielen or whatnot. So
Yep.
just love Stephon Diggs. He's a baller. I love Diggs.
His receiver coach is my receiver coach too. So I'll actually have a good chance of working with him this year.
Okay.
So
Sounds
he's
good.
been so the places that people go to right now. If I have to just any young receivers are wondering like where all these people are, like how do you train with all these
Yeah.
people is like one of the main questions that I get, and a lot of it is put your time and money into where these professionals go. Go to Exos in Phoenix. Go to
Hmm.
Alkeem Sports in Florida. Go
Hmm.
to Bomberitos in Florida. Like
Hmm.
spend the money and go to these places. Go to Perform in Florida. And that's where
You can
Lamar
run into a
Jackson,
lot of people.
yeah, that's where Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers and Dalvin Cook and Geno Smith. That's where a lot of these guys are going, And you have to get in front of these people. You if you want to be an actor, you go to Hollywood. You want to be a designer, you go to New York. Like
Right.
you want a country singer, you go to
It's an
Nashville. You got to
open
go.
workout, basically.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to show these people. Um, but if I had to, because Colorado isn't really like that. All these guys are from everywhere else.
Yeah, yeah. Colorado's not like a big market.
No, it's
Like
not. Like no
who's
one,
gonna
no
say I'm
one.
gonna go to Colorado to work out? You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah. I mean, you get like your altitude running and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna go to Red Rocks, I'm gonna run, and like you'll do that for like 2 days, and then you're ready for actual football work. Not saying that you can't get that here because during the pandemic, that's where I worked with a lot of these guys here, and it's great. But a lot of their guys are from somewhere else, and they go back
Yeah.
home to work with their trainer, and so they're in the South Florida, they're in the California.
That's where a lot. Yep, that's where a lot of. I know a lot of them go to the Floridas or whatnot. And
The
that's and
trainers,
Florida, like yeah, down south, that's a big area. Whatnot, Florida, Georgia, or whatnot. So I know D. I think he Diggs trains a lot in Florida or whatnot.
he
And I
so
mean, it's just
he's at Alkeem right now.
yeah. He looks good too, coming off the ACL tear.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, my receiver trainer is going to be working with him, and that's when I'm going to have the chance to work with him. But I was like, "What's it like working with Diggs?" And he was like, "He flies in, he gets a cappuccino, and then he hits a workout, and
Yeah,
that's it."
you can see it, man. He looks good, man. He's not 100% right now. He probably at about if he ain't 100, he close to it. He look good to me. He look good
He
working
looks
out post ACL tear.
he looks really really good. I mean, so Juwan Winfrey's coming off of like an ACL tear as well, and so they're at
Yeah,
the same place. Like him, that's where I met Cortland Sutton. That's where Tommy DeVito is right now with the Giants. Like they've
yeah,
got everyone is there right now, and
yeah.
so it's just that for the people who are young, like coming out of college or going into college, wondering like where you can even meet a lot of these guys. That's where you want to go is these facilities to get in front of these people to build some relevance. Because
And be up and build that network up and things like that. Rick, we got
yeah,
a few minutes for the show ends or whatnot. What
yeah,
is your
yeah.
final? What's your pitch to NFL team? What would if you got GMs and agents or scouts or whatnot watching the show right now? What is your pitch to these teams that why they should bring you for workout and what you can do for that team before we get off?
My pitch is that I'm always getting better as a player. Despite the age, the body is completely healthy. There's no concussions. I'm fully 100% ready to go. And I absorb and I take coaching really well. And I also understand where I am in my role in
Okay.
the team. And I also learn fast as well. And then if you talk about the physical side, the attributes, the route running is clean. I mean, you saw my routes. The route running is clean, it's technical, and then there's bursts, and the hands are there
Explosive.
as well. So uh, that's what I would say is I'm ready to go and physically, and I mean this is everything that I've ever done. So I've worked with all the top guys, trained alongside them, and I've spent most of my life training alongside the top guys. And so, um, understanding what it is to be a professional before signing a contract is a lot like going into surgery and already being in a really good condition
Mm,
because your recovery is going to be that much faster. And so for me, I already know what it's like to be a professional. I've already been around the top guys. And so understanding that is understanding the game. Now, physically, being able to run routes the way I can run routes and the speed that I have, uh, and understanding a playbook and where I need to line up and my assignments, that's all here too. So I actually got the Seahawks playbook, and Paxton and I have been going over that
That's
for a little
good.
bit. Yeah, so understanding um, who you are on the field is already something I can do,
Mhm.
and understanding
That's
who
only
you
gonna
are
help
under
you.
yeah, understanding who you are under pressure, uh, training with the best of the best, both on defense and on offense. And so, uh, for GMs and scouts out there, is knowing that I've spent all my time training with the best of the best, and I feel like I belong there. So,
Yes, sir. That's
really,
what they're gonna want to hear. That's what I like that, man. Just so GMs, scouts, coaches out there, that is the pitch, man. Gabriel Alexander. Um, it was great to have you, whatnot. Great show. Didn't think it would be this long, but that's okay because the more you
yeah,
talk, the
yeah,
more you can get yourself out there, whatnot, man. I wish you got to work out tomorrow.
yeah. So I'm gonna head down to South Florida tomorrow, probably tomorrow evening or tomorrow morning, depends. I'm gonna look at my flight because we got good amount of snow out here. So I don't know if the flight's gonna be
Yeah.
delayed. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be in South Florida, and so that's probably for the next week and a half, and stuff like that. So I don't know if you'd be able to, or if you'd want to come down to South Florida at some point, because I know for you, you were looking at getting into scouting for a little bit,
Yeah.
and so if you wanted to come down and meet some of the guys and stuff like that, you'd be
Okay.
more than welcome to. So
Okay.
would be if
Yeah,
you want.
we'll definitely. Yeah, shoot. You gonna have to shoot me your number after the show, man, on via the DM or whatnot, and we definitely going to connect like that. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get to see the behind the scenes work,
Yeah.
this is where all the money is made. A lot of the guys think like, it's you watch Hard Knocks and you wonder where like how these guys are the way they are when they get into the building and stuff like that. And this is why they are the way they are. It's you get to see the behind the scenes of the work that they put in constantly, before the season even starts and stuff. So this is pre-draft, so you get to see. I remember, last year I was able to work with train with Ricky Pearsall too, and you get to see that preparation leading up to the season, um, what they're doing, and there's a chance to get to work with Brock Purdy this year as well, this off season. Uh,
Okay.
well, I'm good friends. So my lead with Miami is Max McCaffrey. So he's an offensive assistant, and so he and his a lot of the scouts come out and actually watch TA take his receivers through workouts, and so Max, TA, and I have all been in a group chat talking about setting up a workout.
Okay.
So that's, I guess, if I had one lead that I have, him and Keith. So there's some sound, but it's really just about going in and building up some relevance,
And just
and
be
just
building up that network, those
building up.
connections and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And that's all it is. The business me and you both are in, that's really all that's it's all about networking, connecting, and seeing
100%.
what you can see, just finding your niche, finding your way. And all it takes is that one phone call, that
Yep,
one message, that one email, that just run across the right person. That's all it takes.
it
So
does. And actually, just real quick, I know that you like time is running really short, but it loops me back to this. So when Sean Payton came to coach the Broncos, when Emmanuel Sanders was there, and he, him, and uh, Drew Brees were running routes in Denver, and I had the chance to be there for that, which was really really neat. So Valor Christian High School is where all the McCaffreys played, and it's almost like a Hogwarts kind of thing. Like it's a castle. I mean, you go onto the campus, it's huge, and it's a private school, so they put a lot of their money into their athletics, especially football. Anyways, so um, do you know Benny Fowler by chance? So he played
Benny,
with
yes, he played for the Saints and the Broncos, I believe, number
yeah.
16.
So the reason he got brought on with the Saints, I was kind of talking to him and Emmanuel, and Emmanuel tells me the story that when he and Benny were already really good friends. So Emmanuel recommended Benny after a workout to Drew. Drew goes in and talks to Sean Payton when he was with the Saints, when he was with Denver, and was like, "Hey, I really like Benny. We should give him an opportunity." And so
Okay.
Sean calls him in and is just like, "Hey, Emmanuel and Sean, or Emmanuel and Drew really like you. We're looking for one more player on special teams. Can you be that guy?" And he got in. Didn't even have a
Dang.
workout. That
Wow.
his route session with Drew and Emmanuel was his Saints workout, and then he got in, and that was it. So it's like
Wow.
a lot of
It's
it's
yeah, just about networking and just connecting and just like I said, finding the right person or whatnot, man. So and go ahead.
well, one of the guys who the other example I can think of is uh, Tanner Gentry. He was a receiver here that I worked with Josh Allen throughout the pandemic too, and Josh just vouched for him and brought him in for like 3 years, and that was when Stephon Diggs was there as well, and it was just kind of
Mm,
like, how do you have receiver space when you have Stephon Diggs that's in the
yeah,
building? So it's yes, you take the traditional route of the scouts and the
yeah,
GMs and everything, but there's also players who have pull on the roster.
and that
It
could get you in
can
those
get you
doors or whatnot.
and it's super
Um,
super important. It's the Joe Burrows, it's the Josh
yeah,
Allens, it's the Lamar Jacksons,
because
it,
just it's anybody just can't do it. You got to have it's certain people or whatnot.
certain
So
people, certain
that's why,
people, and
and yeah, that's what I try to explain and tell people. I've had other people on the show in the past tell them the same things, but it really it's the people ahead of you for the most part.
yep,
And you like I said, you can get in there. But Gabriel, great show. We're running out
yeah,
of
yeah,
time and
definitely,
whatnot. Great show. We
absolutely,
definitely gonna have to do it again. Great show. I did not think it would be this long or whatnot, but hey, like I said, ain't no problem with that, man. That more insight, the better your word. Cause you the one, my words out. You want to get your word out there. This in the show was really about you. I appreciate you coming on, taking time out your day to come on and
yeah,
whatnot.
you
Let
too.
everybody know where they can find you at on social media.
Yeah, so you can find me at Gabriel Alexander _8. I know it's kind of a long one, so I do apologize. Didn't think about the marketing on that one, but
Yeah.
a lot of the other guys have found me, so you should be able
Yeah.
to find me. But yeah, no, I mean, if I had to give one last message, it's just if you're in my position, just keep rolling and just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and that's the important thing. And then network, super important to just get in front of the right people, scouts. But at the end of the day, just try and do the very best you can with what you've got, and then try and
Mm.
do better the next day. You know what I mean? So if you can do what
Yes,
you
sir.
can with what you have, then try and find ways to do better than that the next day, if that makes sense.
Y-
So,
Yes, sir.
but I appreciate you having me on. So,
Yes, sir. Good luck tomorrow, man, at your workouts and the rest of the way, man. We definitely be in contact, and I'm gonna
yeah,
be listening out for you, seeing if you get anywhere. I know I'm sure you would text me, shoot me a message. I'll be looking out, reading my notification, my tickers, and all that stuff like that, just to see what's going on, man. I might see your name run across or something.
soon, soon. I mean, I'm praying, but soon, you know what I mean? So everything has its timing. So just all I can do is be ready. So that's the
Yes,
important thing.
sir.
So,
Appreciate
but
it,
I
man.
appreciate it.
I appreciate everybody that checked us out today on this morning. It was a long show. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, and send it to a friend, man. To send it to a friend, man. I appreciate it, man. Go Pats, Pats Nation. But this right here was a good show, a good special guest episode with Gabriel, free agent wide receiver Gabriel Alexander. I wish you the best of luck and good luck in the future.
Appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day.
Yes, sir.